ultimate dance teacher. And
I'll go to any lengths to get my daughter on this team.
What about Sarah, Abby? I mean, she's been here multiple times. You've seen her. You know her personality. You know how she dances.
I like Sarah. I think she's a nice little girl, and I think she does know how to behave.
JoJo has a duet with Mackenzie. It's in the musical theater category, and it's entitled...
I will explain the gossip. Never miss this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Kira's arrest wasn't just a headline. It was a bombshell that sent ripples through the entire ALDC. The tension wasn't just backstage anymore. It followed Kira everywhere, from rehearsals to hotel lobbies. And just when it seemed like Kalani had found her groove at the ALDC, her mom's past threatened to overshadow it all. Let's flash back to the moment the secret exploded and relive how dance moms turned real-life court documents into reality show gold. Before the arrest story blew up, Kira was known as one of the more grounded moms. Well, relatively speaking. She wasn't as explosive as Christy or as chaotic as Kelly, but she wasn't afraid to throw shade when needed. From her debut in Season 4 to her return in Season 5, Kira made it clear she would protect Kalani at all costs. Remember when Abby begged Kalani to return and Kira negotiated like a boss? She wanted security, respect, and opportunities, and she wasn't going to let Abby play games. Fans applauded her for sticking to her guns. But as with any mom who crossed into Abby's world, the spotlight could quickly turn savage. Kira didn't just face off with Abby. She had regular friction with the other moms too. She butted heads with Jesselyn, clashed with Jill, and rolled her eyes through every chaotic competition weekend. And while she usually held it together, the arrest revelation brought out a side of Kira that was raw, defensive, and undeniably real. The arrest scandal hit like a thunderclap in Season 5, not because it was recent, but because of how it was revealed. Midway through the season, online gossip blogs and local news sources picked up on Kira's 2005 arrest in Arizona. According to reports, she'd been charged with theft and identity theft, and there were murmurings about a check fraud scheme. Cue Dance Mom's producers rubbing their hands together and prepping the next confessional segment. The news broke while the team was on the road. Mid-competition, mid-drama, mid-bus. For Kira, it was blindsiding. She was caught between managing Kalani's growing success and defending herself against a past she thought was long buried. The cameras captured every awkward whisper, every side eye from the moms, and every bit of Abby's icy disapproval. Let's be honest, Abby Lee Miller is not known for subtlety, and she definitely doesn't forgive easily, unless your name is Maddie Ziegler. So when she got wind of Kira's legal past, the judgment was immediate and brutal. In one iconic confessional, Abby couldn't help herself. "How can I trust someone like that?" she sneered. "You're raising a child in my studio. What kind of example is that?" It didn't matter that Kira's arrest was years ago. To Abby, it was fresh gossip to weaponize. During rehearsals, Abby started treating Kira colder than usual. She criticized Kalani more harshly. The passive aggression turned into full-on tension, and fans could feel it bubbling just beneath the surface. And to be clear, this wasn't about Kalani's dancing. It was about power, and Abby never missed a chance to remind everyone who had it. As always, the other moms weren't content to let the drama play out quietly. Dance Moms has a strict code. If you have tea, you spill it in the dressing room. Jill, Holly, and Jesselyn couldn't help but comment on the arrest, some with sympathy, others with the side eye of the century. Jesselyn, who already had beef with Kira, saw the scandal as vindication. "She walks around like she's better than everyone," she said. "But look who has a record now." Brutal. Jill, ever the gossip but trying to appear neutral, played both sides. She expressed concern for Kalani but definitely dropped hints that Kira's past raised questions about her judgment. Holly, true to form, was the voice of reason. "Everyone makes mistakes," she said calmly. "This is about Kira and her child, not about something from 10 years ago." It was a rare moment of grace in a sea of whispers. But the tension was undeniable. Every mom had an opinion, and the air was thick with judgment. Once the arrest made its way into group discussions, Kira snapped. At first, she tried to stay calm, brushing it off as a non-issue. But when Jesselyn pushed too hard, Kira lashed out. In one particularly fiery scene, Kira storms out of the dressing room yelling, "You want to dig up my past? You don't know what I've been through." Her voice cracked with emotion, and for a second, viewers saw past the glam and confidence to a woman genuinely wounded by judgment. She clarified in later episodes that she had already taken accountability for her actions. The charges were resolved, and she had moved on. "I'm not proud of it," she said, "but I'm not hiding from it either." But in the dance mom's world, there's no such thing as moving on, not when a juicy scandal is involved. What made the scandal even more heart-wrenching was how Kalani handled it. While the moms gossiped and Abby threw shade, Kalani kept her head down and delivered flawless routines week after week. She never brought up the scandal. She never played the victim. She just danced, with power, precision, and maturity beyond her years. Fans rallied around her. Social media flooded with messages of support, with hashtags like #StandWithKalani and #TeamKira trending in defense of the duo. Kalani's silence wasn't weakness. It was strength. She let her talent speak louder than any headline ever could. The most unforgettable moment came when Kira finally confronted Abby head-on. After weeks of side comments and under-the-breath jabs, Kira had had enough. "Say what you need to say to me, not behind my back," she said directly to Abby in one of the boldest confrontations of the season. "You don't get to judge me for something that's over and done with." "You're not perfect, Abby." "No one is." The room went silent. Even Abby looked stunned, briefly. But in true Abby fashion, she recovered with a cutting response. "I don't need to be perfect. I need to protect this brand. And if your drama affects my dancers, we have a problem." It was tense. It was ugly. And it was Dance Moms at its most unfiltered. As the episodes aired, the media pounced. Tabloids ran with headlines like, "Dance Mom Busted," and "Kalani's Mom's Secret Past Revealed." Paparazzi started showing up at competitions. Kira was suddenly a tabloid villain, and the show milked every second of it. But fans were split. While some questioned her fitness as a role model, others came to her defense with passion. She made a mistake. She owned it. "Let it go," one tweet read. Others were more vicious, dragging her, calling for her to be removed from the show, and accusing her of hiding things. The controversy gave Dance Moms a ratings boost, but it also brought very real pain into Kira and Kalani's lives. The ultimate twist? Just a few seasons later, Abby Lee Miller herself was arrested and served prison time for bankruptcy fraud. Suddenly, all that judgment she dished out to Kira looked more than a little hypocritical. Fans didn't forget. As Abby's legal troubles became public, the internet had a field day. "So we're judging Kira now," one fan posted. "Pot, meet kettle." In hindsight, Abby's harshness toward Kira felt like projection, and it made Kira's past, which she never denied or tried to hide, seem far less scandalous than the hypocrisy behind it. Years later, the scandal is a distant memory. Kira has continued to support Kalani through her post-Dance Mom success, from TV roles to dance tours to full-blown influencer fame. She's remained active on social media, shared family moments, and been transparent about the journey. Kalani? Thriving. She didn't let the scandal dim her light. She let it fuel her. As for Abby and the other moms, they've had their own scandals, their own exits, and their own reckonings. But Kira's confrontation with her past remains one of the most raw, emotional, and unforgettable arcs in Dance Mom's history. Kira Gerard's story is more than just a scandal. It's a reminder that Dance Moms doesn't just spotlight the dancers, but the flawed, fierce women who fight for them behind the scenes. Kira wasn't perfect, but she never pretended to be. She owned her past, defended her daughter, and stood her ground in a room full of judgment. Once the scandal truly took over the narrative, everything changed at the ALDC, and not just in front of the cameras. Backstage, Kira was isolated. You could feel the chill every time she walked into a dressing room. The small talk stopped. The usual jokes and chit-chat vanished. Instead, there were long stares, awkward silences, and whispers that died the moment she entered the frame. Holly tried to stay neutral, but even she became cautious around Kira. Jill, ever the opportunist, shifted alliances, and started spending more time near Melissa and Jesselyn. You could tell it wasn't just about dance strategy anymore. The arrest had become a social litmus test. Even Melissa, who was normally focused on Maddie's every pirouette, seemed a little uneasy around Kira. "I just think it's a lot," she murmured in one interview. "You come here to support your kid, and then you're in the middle of a scandal? That's not what we signed up for." To be fair, none of them had clean hands. But when the cameras were rolling and reputations were on the line, Kira became an easy target. The moms didn't just judge, they closed ranks. Amidst the mom mess, Kalani just kept doing what she always did, deliver stunning performances. Abby couldn't deny Kalani's talent. Even if she was mad at Kira, even if she whispered snide comments in her confessionals, she still handed Kalani featured solos, prime duet opportunities, and front and center group spots. In fact, Kalani thrived under the pressure. Whether it was a fierce contemporary solo or a lyrical trio with Maddie and Kendall, she danced like she had something to prove, and maybe she did. Fans noticed. "Kalani's going through all this and still killing it every week. That girl's a queen," one viewer tweeted. Others speculated that she was dancing for more than herself. Maybe she was dancing to defend her mom's honor. One episode showed her mid-rehearsal, clearly tired but refusing to stop. "I just want to get it right," she said quietly. It wasn't dramatic. It was pure, focused ambition. And it made her stand out in a season already packed with star power. As the scandal gained steam, producers smelled opportunity, and Dance Moms producers never waste drama. Suddenly, Kira found herself front and center in the storyline. More confessionals, more confrontations, and more moments where the pressure cooker was just about to explode. They edited the episodes to emphasize her arrest, even inserting ominous music over her solo interview segments. They replayed old arguments, rehashed her previous standoffs, and gave Jesselyn more time to throw shady one-liners her way. It wasn't just about what had happened. It was about framing Kira as the villain of the moment. And it worked. The drama dominated fan forums, Facebook groups, and recap blogs for weeks. But Kira wasn't about to let the producers write her narrative unchecked. She pushed back. "You can't drag me down for something that happened over a decade ago," she snapped in one confessional. "If people can't see who I really am now, that's on them." The emotional toll finally caught up with Kira, and cameras caught every second. In one of the most heartbreaking scenes of Season 5, Kira broke down in tears backstage after an especially tense day. Kalani had just finished a routine that brought the audience to its feet. But instead of celebrating, Kira sat quietly, her head in her hands. Jesselyn muttered something snide nearby. Jill rolled her eyes. And that's when Kira snapped. "I'm done being the villain," she cried. "I'm here for Kalani. That's it. I'm not here for your judgment, your whispering, or your fake concern." The room fell silent. Kalani rushed over to comfort her mom, and for once, no one dared to say anything. The tears weren't for the cameras. They were real, raw, and undeniably human. If fans thought Abby might soften her stance after seeing Kira's emotional collapse, they were dead wrong. Abby doubled down. The following week, she assigned Kalani a controversial group piece with a storyline that hit too close to home, about a girl betrayed by someone she trusted. The moms immediately caught the shade. "You don't think this is about Kira?" Jill whispered. Whether or not it was intentional, the message was clear. Abby wanted control. And when she didn't have it, she sent messages through choreography. Kalani danced it beautifully, but the subtext was brutal. In the confessional, Abby said cryptically, "Some people should think twice before pointing fingers at me. I'm not the only one with skeletons." The hypocrisy? Unmatched. But the control? Still Abby's. As the episodes aired, the fanbase became furious with how Kira was treated. #JusticeForKira started trending on Twitter. Longtime Dance Moms stans pointed out how Abby, Jill, Jess, and even Melissa had said shady, unethical things in past episodes, but somehow Kira was the one being torn apart. "You've got moms throwing shoes and screaming in kids' faces," one viral post read. "But Kira's the one being iced out because of a 10-year-old arrest? Please." Kalani fans defended her mom with everything they had. Edits, TikToks, fan videos, They flooded the internet with messages of support, painting Kira as misunderstood, not malicious. And for the first time in a while, Kira felt the public shift. "We've made mistakes, but we're not villains," she wrote on Instagram. "Thank you for letting us grow." Eventually, the storm passed. The producers found a new target. The moms moved on to fresh arguments. But Kira's arrest storyline left a scar. She never tried to rebrand herself as perfect, but she owned her truth in a way no one expected. She opened up more about her past in interviews outside of Dance Moms. She talked about hitting rock bottom, learning from her mistakes, and doing everything she could to give Kalani a better life. "When you mess up, you fix it. And then you show your kids what growth looks like," she said in one post-show interview. "That's what I did." And fans respected her for it. Not because she denied it, but because she was real about it. And Dance Moms fans love a redemption arc, especially when it's earned. By the end of season 5, Kalani was no longer just the girl from ALDC. She was a full-blown fan favorite. A frontrunner. A star. Her solos were stunning. Her duets with Maddie became some of the most iconic in the series. And her emotional maturity, especially during the scandal, made her stand out even more. Some fans even said the drama helped her grow. "It made Kalani tougher. You could see it in her eyes," one commenter wrote. And whether Abby liked it or not, Kalani became too good to sideline. Even when Abby was feuding with Kira, she couldn't ignore Kalani's power. That tension, the push and pull between disapproval and dependence, was what made this chapter of Dance Moms so unforgettable. Years later, when fans rewatch season 5, they all point to the same moment. Kira standing up for herself while the room stared in silence. It wasn't a dance that stole the scene. It wasn't even an epic Abby meltdown. It was a mom with nothing to hide finally saying, "You don't get to define me." That's why this scandal stuck. It wasn't just drama for drama's sake. It was a real person being thrown into the fire and refusing to burn. In later seasons, the arrest was never mentioned again. Kira became more selective about when she appeared. Kalani continued to rise. And Dance Moms moved on to new controversies. But that chapter left a mark. Not just on the show, but on the fans who watched Kira's dignity get tested and saw her fight back with grace.